Apparently, Tribe 9 just announced end of service.
Yeah, I've been seeing a couple reactions to that, and it seems like it's not actually going to affect 2Q, but it did not look good for a minute there.
Yeah, like microtransactions are a healthy part of a, or are usually a large part of a healthy ecosystem or economical ecosystem. It seems like it seems like it wouldn't be, but then like if every 10-year-old just spends 10 cents on their mother's credit card, you too. Okay, so clearly this isn't happening. um, but yeah. It doesn't feel like it should affect all that much, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like I don't know. I was talking to Mark about it a little bit earlier, and like
yep,
he didn't even realize that it was like out. Period. And like I do feel like it's kind of one of those things where like I also didn't realize it was out until the other
yeah,
day. I was at our like local used like book game music store type thing, and they had like I was looking in the anime section, and there was an anime out, and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that the anime was out or the game, and so like
yeah. Tokyo seems consistently bad at advertising,
yeah,
which is well, Western advertising, I suppose. I don't know on the GP side. Five9 seems like decently popular, and I've been seeing like people. I don't know if it's like I know at least one or two of the streams I've seen on YouTube were sponsored, but I don't know like how many others were as well. I've seen at least one or two that were sponsored and at least one or two that weren't. So like they're doing a good job. So like
that's something.
but I consistently miss stuff coming out from Chukyo. And part of that is me just not being on anything anymore. But part of that is also like if they have to funnel all their money towards development, they don't have anything left over for advertising
Yeah,
in video companies. And as much as I would like for 100 Line to change that, 100 Line is very niche.
yeah. I wanted to
And like,
do
we're doing
like
our part. But
yeah, spreading the propaganda.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
unfortunately.
yeah. Like I do want to get on the 100 polls thing. Um, Mostly because if I don't know. Because if I do the prologue, the demo all at once in one video, that'd be like whatever. But I feel like if I get to the voting part and then I do one day at a time,
Yeah.
that would and people are interested enough in the story to go like, man, I wish this wasn't going one day at a time. I could respond to every single one of those comments being like, yeah, if you want to play at a faster pace, you can go play it yourself. Haha.
That's true. Compelling argument. Propaganda.
But also at the same time, um, this is a really shit time for this game to have come out. For
Like economically, or like
that too. But
other
also,
big things coming out.
Claire Obscure also came out.
Oh, that's fair.
And like I also have never heard of this fucking game. But it's apparently an SRPG.
Yeah, it did come out of nowhere. It kind of got. I don't know if it's like viral, but like it did kind of like. I feel like I'm always getting like clips and things like that, and then of course the developers were like, "Hey, if you liked our game, go play the other game," which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's
But
enough.
yeah, those two games coming out at the exact same time is a little bit of a conflict of interest for the other niche that Underground had, which was the SRPG niche. This is like it's a genuinely fun game if you like that sort of stuff. It's genuinely interesting if you aren't like trying to skip past all the shit.
Right.
And the fact that you can skip past all the shit is a boon for that audience.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that there's like actual depth to the gameplay if you give a shit is very nice.
It's multifaceted.
It's got like 100 facets.
Very specifically designed to have 100 facets. Who would have thunk
Yeah.
it?
Who would have?
Okay. So when last we left our heroes, we had discovered that the thing that Dr. David Asher wanted to leave for us was
That's
a
right.
little robot child who actively calls the doctor dad, and does definitely not believe that he just died. She thinks he was murdered, and so even though we're supposed to take care of the robot lady said that we don't have to take care of her as long as as we promised to look into his death more. And I guess now we're gonna go talk to like the cops and try to figure out a way to like sneak out of here or something. I'm not sure. We kind of left in the middle of.
Yeah, we left in the middle of Morgan explaining crime.
Yeah.
Or explaining not crime. Very specifically not crime. It's not illegal, it's an error. Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear that. Well, let's see how well that flies.
Yeah. Right.
If I need to about the fiat, it will go much better than it should.
Right. Recapping it made me realize how little happened. Like things happened, big things happened, but they were like it was not a lot in the grand scheme of things. So.
Are you sure about this?
You have questions too, don't you? Right now, I'm just a little bit better equipped to get answers than you are.
Okay, go for it. I'll make sure they're watching. Is the air quality at Noble headquarters kept up to state standards?
What's that?
All these Noble employees seem to have asthma. Was Father also working under such poor conditions?
They don't have asthma.
They don't have asthma? Then why are they all carrying inhalers?
Oh.
Yes, ma'am, she's right over there.
Okay,
you want to look at
yeah,
inhalers?
I was going to say, I want to see what this is. First legalized 2083. The stimulants under the name Adrox. Class 2 stimulant of least concern. Employees of any corporation in good standing with the Bureau of Narcotics Oversight can have access without a prescription so long as their HR representative feels it will be beneficial to their work performance.
Workplace adroxone. Adroxone?
Something like that.
Adrosone? Because the O makes me want to go ox.
Yeah.
But the way it's spelled makes me want to go zone.
Adrosone sounds more like traditional, like I could hear that being said on like a pharmaceutical advertisement. Huh.
What do you mean possible habit formation? She's definitely puffing that shit like a goddamn binky.
Just enough to keep them coming back and buying more. Not enough to make them overdose, I guess.
Invented as a purely recreational drug by the notoriously violent Skullhead Mafia. Uh-huh.
Oh. Jesus. That's intense.
That's a cover-up.
Yeah, for real. What a coincidence that literally all of them were there. Huh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Yes, ma'am. She's right over there.
Uh,
Hi.
didn't think we were gonna get to her today.
Oh, it's you.
Oh.
Uh, uh, it's you. So, do we want to
I was
reevaluate?
I was gonna say, do you want me to take one of these characters so you don't have to voice all of them?
Sure. Which one do you want? You said you seemed like you were about to take Reyes.
I was gonna say, I was thinking maybe I could take Reyes so that way we have, because I don't know how much of a back and forth they're gonna be, but that way we have like we both have one on each side.
Okie dokie. Did I mess up?
On the contrary. Oh, do we know who this is?
No. Eyes wide. She's a DA.
Oh, is this just random people?
I think this is background people.
Okay. Quiet.
Quiet.
She succeeded spectacularly in getting Noble's ears perked up. Oh. Let's see if there's anything new in there.
Hi! 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 The only other character to not have a listed weight. Oh my god, she sees her as an equal.
Yeah. I do love that she only reads true crime and bodice rippers. That's so what a combo.
Best at getting staff attention.
Yeah. That's great.
Also, the other parallel. Emma's birthday the day before Valentine's Day. Morgan's birthday the day after Christmas.
Oh, that's a good point. Holiday adjacent birthdays.
Very specifically before and after.
That's fun. Okay. Emma Rockford. Didn't think I'd run into you here.
Yeah, didn't think I'd be here either. But the powers that be think my presence sends a strong message to the Megs, so... No, wait, what are you doing here?
A few minutes later.
I see. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you, Detective Reyes, for your many kind words. Anything new with Reyes?
Default status, do not disturb.
That tracks. I wonder if that's gonna come into play at some point of like we're gonna try to get hold of her.
Do you want to check London's occupation? Does he also have a class?
Oh, there we go. I wasn't sure if it was like underneath a different name. No.
First class homicide detective.
Oh, he does. Sorry. So, what is the difference
Reyes
in
is
class?
third.
Like, does that mean? Like, third class is like early, and you have to work your way up to first class, or?
Yeah, that's
Got it.
usually how that works.
Okay.
I think it's partly a meritocratic thing, but it's also like seniority.
Gotcha. Okay. We can't all be as talkative as you. Normally, quoting poetry would feel pretentious, but you were so genuine in your reading. Bite me.
I don't know that there's a need for all that.
Very mature detective. Did you come up with that yourself?
Oh, no, that's Kaguya's interpose.
Like the pop star? I don't know what you're talking about. You can admit it if you do. Well, there's nothing to admit because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who that is. Wait, now you're saying you don't know who Kaguya is? She's the most famous. Yeah, well, I just don't know who that is, so... Ma'am? Weren't you about to say something?
Oh, well, I'm still surprised to see you here now, Morgan. Are you helping plan the services? Actually, the company will be planning Dr. Asher's funeral service.
Wouldn't his family want to take care of that?
No.
No. No. I see. Sorry. But if that's the case, why are you here, Morgan?
Ha! Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry to disrupt your morning.
Hey, that's...
You're here for the same reason as every other suit they've got crawling around. Money. You're not wrong. There are a lot of annoying insects with annoying agendas scurrying around before my friend's body is even cold. But the honest truth is I don't even know if David had a will.
The company helped him manage his estate. Legal is probably already on it. Actually, judging by how much coffee that intern is carrying into the elevator, I'm certain they are. Right, so if you're not here for the funeral or the reading of the will...
Miss Starling asked me to come here, actually, on a matter unrelated to David's passing.
An unrelated matter?
Well, that's convenient. Isn't it?
Oh,
But now that I... Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
But now that I am here, it's come to my attention that the police have made a determination in the case of David's death. And where did you hear that? Am I mistaken?
No, you're right. They concluded that it was suicide.
Can always count on her to be blunt. I was worried about that.
Yeah, I'm sure you must be feeling...
Because I'm going to have to contest that charge. What? The state has made a charge. I'm arguing against it. The hell are you talking about? The police believe David committed suicide. Suicide is a felony in this country, Detective.
It is technically a crime to commit suicide, yes. But we're not in the habit of bringing dead men to trial. Especially not for their own murder, Morgan.
No, not a trial, of course not. But there would be a preliminary hearing in a case like this.
Technically, as a formality. Assuming the courts aren't busy that day.
I'm afraid that on this occasion I'm going to have to insist on formality. Yeah, well, you really don't have much say in the matter, do you? With David gone, I have the only say, really. I am, after all, his criminal attorney. All that money and he needs his drinking buddy to be his attorney? Bullshit.
I'm also skeptical, Morgan. It's a pretty serious conflict of interest to be your friend's defense attorney.
You're absolutely right. It is a conflict of interest. And I would have said as much to him if I had the chance.
What do you mean?
I only found out that he wanted me to be his attorney today. After he died. How the hell did you miss that memo? Embarrassing, isn't it? But, to be fair, it was hidden pretty well.
Oh, I didn't know you had an Android, Morgan. It's cute.
Thanks. But it's actually David's. And it's technically my witness. Witness to what?
38 hours ago, that is, David Asher communicated to me, as a matter of record, the following explicit legal intent. That in the case of any and all criminal charges brought against him by the state, his attorney would be... Evangeline Morgan.
Did we know her first name?
We sure didn't.
Evangeline.
Pasa music.
No, wait, seriously, your name's Evangeline? Did your parents name you after a Christmas carol? Should we all be curtsying? It's not that funny. No, of course not. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Evangeline. Or do your friends call you Angel? I hear Kagi is on tour, Detective. Should I get you tickets? You could have your dad drive you like all the other 15-year-old. Hey!
Feels like we're getting off topic. What were we just... I was telling you that David Asher wanted her to be his criminal defense.
Imagine my surprise.
An android's recording of verbal expression of intent isn't exactly ironclad, Morgan.
That's fair. And if we were going before an upper-level court, I would expect that to be open to all kinds of scrutiny. But we're talking about a preliminary hearing. A formality, as you called it. If he asks for representation, he deserves representation. Doesn't matter whether he's dead or alive. Am I missing something? What difference does it make? Not even an adjutant would be obtuse enough to sentence a dead man. No, there won't be a sentence. But the adjutant will render a verdict. And verdicts have consequences, even for the deceased.
Is that what this is about?
What's she getting at?
If the court agrees that this was a suicide, that verdict will retroactively affect evaluations of the individual's mental health.
Like, whether he was in his right mind or not? You know anything about estate tax law, detective? No. But I'm sure you'll be happy to educate me. More than happy. An individual found by a court to not be of sound mind can't very well give their consent to the lawyer drawing up their will. If his will is compromised, all of David's considerable assets would suddenly be thrown into legal limbo.
In which case, In which case, the state would be legally obligated to come in and pick up the pieces.
So this is just about his money? I'm almost disappointed in you, Morgan.
Well, when you take into consideration all the factors, it's actually more complicated than that. For example, never mind.
No.
I like that little fourth wall notch.
Yeah.
Loving UI elements.
Yeah.
Very cute.
No, Starling, you should speak your mind.
All I mean to say is that while Dr. Asher did have significant holdings in art, real estate, and intellectual property, he also abhorred a great deal of stock in numerous corporations, principally Noble. If he was ruled to be of not a sound mind, and his shares were to end up acquired by the government, Noble would suffer a serious blow to its commercial image and its standing in the financial community.
All of which is to say, there's a great deal at stake here. Not the least of which is the reputation of a man whom I was proud to call my friend. You're not buying this, are you?
In case you haven't noticed, the city is working closely with Noble on this, and they're not going to let you bring them any unwanted attention.
Starling did her part. They're watching, and they've stopped trying to hide it. From here on out, it's a gamble. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. Oh, it should have been.
Do you want to reread that
Noble
line?
Oh shoot! Hold on. Where's?
Nope.
There we go. Noble Electronics already has unwanted attention. Why are you raising your voice? If nothing changes, by the end of the day, the whole country is going to hear how David Asher committed suicide. By midnight, there will be questions about his competency, concerns about why the brain inside every single Noble ad was built by an apparently unstable man. The shareholders will have nothing to do all Sunday but brood over that sad thought and all its disturbing implications. By the time the markets reopen on Monday, I would expect a great deal of volatility.
That's
I understand Noble's apprehension, of course, Emma. I just feel like right now, the fiscally conservative thing to do would be to not get in my way.
So you've got your reasons, and Noble's got a lot to think about. But why should the district attorney's office devote valuable time to playing up this game of yours?
Because they're certain they'll win.
That goes without saying. The court should have an opening at 6 p.m.
I didn't have anything planned.
Then it's a date. Detective, would you get her clearance set up?
Yes, ma'am.
Updates every hour, yeah? You're out on a limb, Morgan. Better not linger.
Here. Clearance for all the relevant sites and police firewalls. You can interview and investigate with your authority as an officer of the court now. If you haven't already been doing that, don't even think about being sloppy with discovery on this. Rockford might think you're funny, but I appreciate the warning, Detective Reyes. It's nice to know you care. I live to serve. And protect! Thanks for the assist, darling.
Yeah, no sweat. Are all cops like that? Or are they more like that Detective London gentleman? Up to you. I know what the funny answer is, but I also don't think it's very funny. I think it's kind of...
Well, honestly.
It's what? Sorry?
I think answering Moser like her will be played for a joke, but also it'll be like commentary against a police state inside of a police state where the police state can hear you.
Yeah.
So really, this is how. This doesn't matter. You can answer however you want.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she seems very used to, like, playing games with somebody like her, so I feel like...
You feel like London's the outlier?
Yeah, maybe. Or what do you think?
I think London is the outlier, honestly.
Okay. Glad we're on the
But that's a reflection of... I think that's honestly a reflection of Earth environment.
That's fair. They're mostly like that, yes.
They're all that intense?
Yes. It comes from being short.
And most cops are short?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Played for laughs.
Right. Well, I'll see you at the courthouse tonight. If you need anything in the meantime, don't be afraid to ask. Good luck. Both of you. What do we do now?
Well, I have a few options. I have access to the crime scene now. Probably the best place to start. I'd like to head over to the company building as well.
To get me registered?
Among other things. Either David killed himself or he didn't. But if he did, it's almost certainly his asshole corporate overlords who are to blame. In which case, I'll want to take my sweet time raking them over the coals. What are you doing?
Were you looking at her while she was monologuing? Because I wasn't.
Wait.
And now I kind of wish I was.
Sarah or Morgan?
Were you looking at Sarah?
I was looking at Morgan, but it did look like Sarah was thinking as well.
Oh, was she mimicking? That's cute.
Oh, maybe. That is so cute.
Nothing. What about father? When can we see him?
He'll be at the morgue by now. The medical examiner will speak to me now that I'm operating under the court's authority. But if I stop to flash paperwork at every nurse and security guard with nothing better to do than ask questions, I'll have to... What's that look for?
You were father's friend.
Thank you, again, for reminding me.
Aren't there people you'd like to speak with? Other friends who'd want to know?
Bad news travels fast. I'm sure everyone in the country has heard about David by this point. But all that heartbreak shit did keep me pretty occupied these last few weeks. And I was never one to pry. If there was someone who could tell me more about David's personal life over the past several months, it'd be worth the effort of finding him. Do you have someone in mind? Maybe someone he met recently?
He spoke about becoming close with someone that's here, a musician.
Now that you mention it, there was a something that David might have mentioned when we talked back in...
I will begin the search. I've completed my search. I found nothing.
Thanks for the old college try. Is that really the best you can do?
Father was a private man, in person and online. With just a few letters and the fact that he was a musician, I'm afraid we don't have enough information to narrow it down. Adonai.
No, we have plenty of information. We just need the right person for the job.
What kind of person is that? A teenager.
Expunged.
Time and date expunged. Censored, maybe?
Maybe.
Do you want me to get an actual definition of that word?
Yeah, because in my head, expunged means that it's been, like, removed, but I could just be thinking... I could be confusing it with, like, expulsed or something like that, so yeah, sure.
First result is expunge your criminal record. So,
Oh, okay, yeah.
to strike out, obliterate, or mark for deletion.
Gotcha.
To efface completely and destroy. To eliminate from one's consciousness. So, yeah,
Get
remove.
out of here. And who would you have even called?
I don't know. Wait, hold on. Do we want to go snotty or...
I think you were
Oh,
snotty
yeah.
when you were voicing them before.
Where the fuck was I? Fuck. Do you think sing-songy, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that tracks. I think that works.
But I still should have gotten my phone call. Instead I got you. Who are you again?
Oh, wait.
My latest guardian? Your foster parent? Want me to call you
I
mommy?
thought this was the person that we had texted previously. Maybe it's not.
It is.
Oh, is they just being petulant?
Yes. That is exactly what's happening.
I'm not really the motherly type.
Heyo, we might actually get along.
Oh, is this a flashback?
This is a flashback.
That makes
That's
more
why
sense.
the time and date is expunged.
Okay, I was like, what is happening?
Heyo, we might actually get along.
So, I've got good news and bad news. I'm not your guardian. I'm your lawyer. You've been given a lawyer because you're being charged with a felony.
Fascist pigs. Skipping school's a felony now.
Hacking into a government database has been a felony for a very long time.
That wasn't me.
They have your keystrokes, your IP address, your login times, and the playlist you were listening to.
Do you think the brown is... Like, do you think that's an effect of the flashback, or do you think that Morgan dyes her hair and her contact lenses?
Ooh. I don't know. I was thinking it was just like effect of the flashback, but
I guess we'd have to see... Do you want to do me a favor and, like, take a snapshot of the frame that we're on now so we can compare not just Morgan, but also the kid when we next see them? Because apparently they're going to be important.
dun dun dun.
That was for a homework assignment.
Here's what I don't get. You got in, copied the data, could have gotten right out. State wouldn't even know they've been robbed until they saw their password show up on black market clearance 2 weeks later. But you didn't get out. You stayed and made changes to their database. You robbed the bank, got clean money, then dragged a can of spray paint behind you all the way home. Why?
Look, I didn't steal anything. That wasn't already compromised. And the only data I edited was my own. So if anything, they should be thanking me for correcting their mistakes.
But did they get your birthday wrong?
My name.
Name changes are only 2 pages of paperwork. You just need to fill out the form.
And get a signature from a parent or guardian. So, what's the good news then?
The good news was that I'm your lawyer, not your guardian.
The hell? That doesn't count as good news. That's just a thing you said.
Don't be so sure. A lawyer's a lot better than a guardian.
How's that?
Parents, guardians, foster whatevers, they're all supposed to take care of you because it's the right thing to do. A lawyer is someone who always does what's best for you, no matter what, because that's how they get paid.
So how good are you? So how good are you at your job? That isn't helpful.
Yeah. Hello, Monku.
Why are you... It's pronounced care.
I know how it's pronounced.
You do not. You do not know.
I'm pretty sure that we know what this is, but.
IoT crumbs. Making preliminary hearings is someone a formality that is frequently sidestepped without protest from them.
Interesting.
And of course, known for her powerful voice and her stage persona's intricately crafted lore.
We love
Oh my god, she's a VTuber. Quadruple platinum. Holy shit.
Oh boy.
Holy shit, she is a VTuber. Let's go. Well, no, I'm offended by Morgan saying that all the other 15-year-olds listen to her.
No, for sure.
Literally a VTuber.
Kaguya Iceberg explained.
Kaguya Ludotrip Tour tickets were to buy.
Okay.
Wait, is Kaguya of the Devil Hatsune Miku?
I was thinking that. I know you said VTuber, but I was thinking Hatsune Miku personally.
VTuber Vocaloids. They're adjacent.
What are the odds that we meet Kaguya down the line, and or it's the musician that David used to be friends or was friends with?
What would the PO stand for? Or not stand for, but start with a pop star?
Oh, I don't know. Cause yeah, if she was thinking that it was, well, I was assuming it was a name, but like Kaguya is the stage name, but their name's actually like
Patricia.
Patricia. Yeah, Patricia. Yep, you got it. Oh my god.
Well, the next we're absolutely gonna meet Kaguya somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
And when we do, we gotta title the episode
Patricia!
Patricia. Just no other context, just
Patricia. Oh my god. Can't wait from like five episodes from now when we're like, oh my god!
It's Patricia!
And nobody else remembers that except for us, but we're like, yes! I know how it's pronounced.
And don't call me that.
When I met Fran in that police station, I couldn't help but bet that I landed the jackpot. A valuable asset with a skill set complementary to my own personal and private pursuits. Someone who, after seeing the sweetheart probation deal I managed to land for them, would be more than happy to help me with whatever I need, whenever I need it. Always so cold, Fran. Can't I even get a good morning?
Oh, do we finally get? Can I?
Here you are. What'd you say?
It's only the second time this has happened. You know what? No, it actually counts as 3, because the profile picture is in black and white, and their whatever is in line scale. What the fuck?
Something like that.
Hacker, but don't put that down, obviously. Likes haptics? What, like... I don't know what a haptic is.
I don't know, because the only thing I know to associate haptic with is like haptic feedback with like a game controller.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, I assume it's like a tech thing, but I don't know beyond that, like, what that might mean.
Dislikes all things a teenager would dislike.
Oh, right.
Excellent. Values rarity, originality, history, and vibes.
I love that the vibes are in quotation marks.
It does seem like something Morgan would doubt.
Yeah.
Just like as a concept.
Yeah. Fran's like, you got bad vibes. And Morgan's like, I don't understand what this means. This teenager slang.
No such thing. Nothing's good ever happen until the afternoon when people are actually awake.
What I got instead was a compulsive liar with a horrific sleep schedule and a crippling addiction to poor time management.
What do you want, Red?
I can't call you up just for fun.
Not if you don't want to get blocked.
I need you to find somebody for me.
Can't do it. I've got homework.
We both know the only time you ever do your own homework is during the class it's due.
And I've got sports.
You can't tell a basketball from a hockey stick.
And I've got a bidding war to win.
You're the only person on Earth bidding on 70-year-old Gucci and Air Joe Dan vintage reps for. Oh my god, I don't know what that means.
I think that was Morgan either intentionally, very, very unintentional, messing up Gucci and Air Jordan.
Well, so
It could be the stereotypical. I don't want to get sued by corporation shit.
Do you hold on? Is there a way to?
What are you looking for?
I was trying to see if there's a thing to like take a text box off, because I don't know if you could see it, but on this little stripe.
No, that is a cue. Yeah, that is a cue.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't think that part she's not.
Okay, so
chopping.
Air Joe Dan.
So I guess instead of Air Jordan, it's Air Joe Dan, I guess, and then I don't know what vintage reps are.
I don't know what vintage reps are either.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I think you can take your eyes off the action block.
So yeah, so sorry, but I'm busy, so.
I was hoping we could skip straight to the carrot portion of the routine, but if you insist on doing things from the top.
Huh?
I had an interesting conversation with your parole officer yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
They've been really into the self prefixes lately.
What?
Self-motivation, self-actualization, self-help.
Oh,
And he thinks you could really benefit from it.
you're lying.
He's got all the workbooks ready. Clearly your Saturdays are stacked, so I'll make sure your Sundays are full of...
Fine! I get it!
I need you to find a local musician.
Musician? There's still be electric swingers on this level.
Last name Powell or Parker.
And that's all you got?
They'll be in David Asher's circles.
Wait, Asher? You're working on that?
That should be more than enough for a clever kid like yourself to go on.
Don't go expecting any miracles.
I need this soon. Within the hour, ideally.
Within the... You know, I have other clients, don't you?
Other clients who actually pay you? On time? A musician. Find him.
Okay. Even talking over the phone, you're very animated, Adonai.
What do you mean?
Just that you're very expressive when you talk to people.
Of course I'm expressive. If I wasn't, how would anyone know what I'm thinking?
I see. I'll keep that in mind as we...
Wait, you really expect to tag along?
Of course. Father was...
Yeah, I know you want to. But why should I let you?
Because I am capable and helpful.
Uh-huh.
Aww. I mean it. I can take notes for you. And move heavy objects. And I'll learn to do more.
How?
I will subject every individual we encounter to a basic survey to procure biological information on them while I gain experience in...
Subjecting them to torture.
I can help, Adonai.
How fast can you fill out forms?
Fast.
Congratulations, you're halfway to being a paralegal. Her little profile got updated. Unemployed! She switched to paralegal question mark.
Unemployed paralegal question mark.
That's so funny.
Oh, wait, hold on, can you go back? Because I think this is her writing these.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, because it's I'm good at a lot of.
Or-
it's,
Or at the very least, she's writing her own.
yeah.
Likes carbonation?
Hell
Likes
yes.
collarbone. Oh god. Okay.
Is this Date? But it's an.
I also got Date vibes from that, yes.
Okay, glad we're on the same
That is where the oh god came from.
Okay.
I'm good at a lot of things. Skills. I'm not sure how skills differ from talents. And what is the 180 rule?
I don't know. I don't know if that's
Is that
something
just-
that exists.
Is that just
or
the
if
triangle thing? Is she literally talking about I also like triangles? I also
Oh,
like
it's-
how triangles always have
It's a
180 degrees.
filmmaking thing. Maybe.
Okay.
In filmmaking, the 180-degree rule is a guideline regarding the on-screen spatial relationship between a character and another character or object within a scene. The rule states that the camera should be kept on one side of an imaginary axis between two characters, so that the first character is always framed right of the second character. Moving the camera over the axis is called jumping the line or crossing the line. Breaking the 180-degree rule by shooting on all sides is known as shooting in the round. So it's basically just like
Okay.
one character's always on the right and one character's always on the left, and if you flip it so it looks like the other way, then you're breaking the rule. I don't know if that's actually what she's referring to, but that's what first popped up when I googled it. So
Well, it's either that or she really likes triangles.
yeah, also could be the case.
And also, she's really cute.
She's so cute. I do think it's very ominous how her eyes are glowing right now. It looks like she's looking directly at us, which is a little unsettling.
You know, I want this screen capped. I can get that later, though. We are tangenting when I said we wouldn't be tangenting. No.
There you go. It's not the best, but you can. If it doesn't work cutting it down from there, then we can go back later or something.
I can go into the VUD
Fair.
if I need to.
You coming?
Right away, Anodai. The creature, la criatura.
Pretty quiet elevators, huh? Oh no. You could have taken the next one. It's a busy building, detective. Can't hold up everyone else on our account. Anything you'd like to grumble at me before I start? Don't touch anything. I don't care that you're wearing gloves. I have been to crime scenes before, you know. Long before the police get there in many cases. Look, Rockford asked me to not get in your way, but that doesn't mean I'm going to bend over for you. Do you at least have the autopsy report? No. Are you seriously? I don't. She doesn't. The report should have come in hours ago. It wouldn't take this long unless the cause of death was still... The Knight settled for a summary of the preliminary findings. An emergency call was made shortly after 8 p.m. last night via the home security system. Emergency medical services had a VTOL in the air within the minute. They landed on the penthouse's helipad at 8:08. Dr. Asher was found unconscious with low blood pressure and a weak heartbeat. He wasn't breathing. In-flight auto triage administered artificial CPR while in transit to Gatesfield Memorial. He was declared dead a few minutes after being taken to the emergency wing. I see. And the cause of death is being investigated. Make an educated guess. He stopped breathing, so they gave him oxygen. His heart stopped pumping, so they had the machines take over. His brain activity dropped to 0, and there wasn't anything else they could do. It was poison, wasn't it? What kind? You don't know, do you? They don't know either. Like I said, ma'am, we don't have the autopsy report yet.
Why are you certain it was poison, Adonai? Couldn't it have been an accidental overdose?
If he had overdosed on a commercial drug, even a pre-med student would have spotted it on the hospital's intake screening. They would have been able to pump his stomach, neutralize his bloodstream, and he would have lived.
But he didn't live.
So it must have been something deadly. A compound designed solely to kill. A fast-acting deadly poison that causes respiratory failure. The list can't be that long. Even just through process of elimination. The medical examiner should have identified it by now. Unless... You suspect a designer drug, don't you, detective? Why is it you're only quick on the uptake when it suits you? Nothing else makes sense given what we know. And what we don't.
I do like how... Oh, what the fucking...
What?
Ah, shit.
What?
Sarah's playing the devil's advocate.
Oh. That tracks.
Ah, that was fucking... I don't know why that was so funny, actually. Oh, God. No, I know exactly why it was so funny. But yeah, no. Sarah obviously doesn't believe that this was a suicide, so she's...
Right.
So the accidental overdose was purely for Ray's benefit.
Yeah. It allows like things to bounce, like these guys to bounce off of each other in a way that is beneficial for each other and also us as the audience.
Mm-hmm. But I do like that it's Sarah doing it.
Yeah, no, it is nice.
I also really need... I don't know exactly where it comes from, but the only association I have with the name Sarah comes from Magic the Gathering. Whereas
really?
it is attached... The most common attachment to Sarah is on MTG's Sarah Angel. So, it's
Interesting.
also very funny. Considering Evangeline's name.
Yeah, that is fair. A lot of angel looping together.
I'm surprised we didn't get it in the first... in Chapter 0. It would have been a very poignant fucking... Of the devil, but she's named after an angel. I guess that's why we got it in Chapter 1, so it wouldn't be excruciatingly obvious in
I
Chapter 0.
guess.
But the CDCA decriminalized and cataloged all recreational drugs.
Guess you aren't entirely clueless about politics.
So what our father overdosed on should have been in the hospital's database.
You need to update your definitions. You're confusing designer drugs with recreational drugs.
What is the difference?
Recreational drugs are decriminalized and sold through pharmacies after years of testing and mounts of paperwork. While the average designer drug was invented last week in a 19-year-old line cook's bathroom on the other side of the globe. Hospitals can't know the proper countermeasures for an overdose of a drug that didn't exist 48 hours ago. I came across makeshift labs at the time when I was in uniform. The equipment's cheap and widely available. Black market cooks, gray market peddlers, and white-collar lobbyists all chasing each other's tails in a long line to find the next big hit. CDCA didn't change shit. More people die from ODs than ever before. Only difference is it's their families finding them in the living room, and not beat cops finding them on street corners. Real comforting, I'm sure. If it wasn't you talking, I'd say that was a criticism of law enforcement. Not law enforcement, just a law. Assuming it was a designer drug, that would certainly make things more complicated. For the insurance guys, maybe. For us, whatever he used to do it, he still killed himself. Or didn't kill himself, if you insist. I'm going to take a look around now. Yeah, sure, make yourself at home. What's that face for?
I thought that there would be an outline.
An outline?
Around where they found Father.
Like in the movies?
Like in film.
So that 180-degree rule probably is.
Uh-huh.
She likes film stuff, so that makes sense.
She's a cutie.
She's cute. Connect to the police's network and bring up their ARCS file.
Augmented reality crime scene. I see.
Yeah.
And then she can get her chalk outline. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yep.
Fuck yeah! Nothing changed except the chalk outline.
Yeah.
It's a line. So this is where he
died at the hospital. This is just where the medics found him.
And it's the sensors and cameras it's the sensors and cameras they were wearing that create the basics for this arc.
And they didn't realize they were walking into a crime scene, but their body cams gathered data all the same.
Where do we start?
You could start by following behind me and trying to be as quiet as possible. I'm starting to get a feel for when she's pouting even without looking. Okay, so we have the outline, the table, observe the little ads or whatever, the police guys, whatever they're called.
There's an inspect. Is there one for the is there one for the chair and for something next to the ad?
I think.
Or is that just the same?
I think it's so. There's observe, inspect. I think inspect is on the chair, and then table is separate. I think.
Okay, I thought there was something like on the corner of the window there.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Think.
Yeah. So it's the chair. It's the
Okay,
chair.
and
Okay.
then there's look through the window here, and then check this like phone guy here.
God, this blue fucking sucks.
I think that's it.
Well, we'll know if that's it when it asks us, "Hey, are you sure that that's it?" And-
Yeah, that's fair.
Like last time, we got the optional achievement. We got the Cheeto.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a preference on where to start? Excuse me.
Not really. I think we should do the outline should either be first or last. Up to you.
I was kind of thinking first, just because it's kind of the obvious, like, big thing.
And I guess if we're examining this as if we're going to be walking through the room and inspect stuff, which she shouldn't be because it's on a augmented reality. I guess
Yeah.
that's where she would start positionally.
That makes sense. Okie dokie. Says here that when the medics arrived, he was on the floor, face up.
Is that tell you something?
Hey, if you were going to drink a glass of poison, would you be sitting or standing when you did it?
I find it very difficult to speculate on that hypothetical situation.
The seat by his body is pulled out. If he was seated when he lost consciousness, I would expect to find him slumped over on the table.
But he wasn't found slumped over.
No, he wasn't. And if he had been standing when he lost consciousness, I would think he would have fallen forward, or at least collapsed less neatly.
So what can you conclude from that, Adonai?
Only that I'm missing something. Okay.
So do you think that lends more or less credence to the suicide theory? I think less, because he should have been seated. But like,
Yeah.
why did he fall? I guess if he fell backward.
Do you think
on
that
the
means
floor?
somebody like
Mm.
caught him and then laid him down?
Yeah, that's a puncture wound from a syringe, maybe.
Oh, that's a good point. Like, so maybe like after if we look at the table, they'll like try to get an analysis maybe there will be an analysis of the liquid that's up, and we'll be like, well, they haven't found anything yet. But
Do you want to do the table next, or do you want to save that?
I think I'm gonna do it next.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of.
Better take a closer look. Oh.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
we have this thing that we can read. We can inspect the cup, and I guess this is together. We can inspect the bottle, and we can check the other cup. And that's it. It looks like. Do you have a preference?
Left or right?
Okay. Password locked, but already cracked by the police, it seems. All the dogs were taken home safe, nothing spicy. When was it last used? 7:48 p.m. Still reading work emails only a few minutes before he committed suicide? Morbid. There's a lot of messages marked priority that breadcrumb their way back to an article. Warm android blood saves soldier's life. Oh, we've seen this before a little bit.
Private name with help was wounded during a military operation is affected location. Badly from Animate 16 Foster, one of the warm androids being currently catastrophic. It opened up its own arteries and saved life, pumping UV pathetic plasma into the young brain.
All of these people not being named makes me think that this is like faked or something.
Like it's just a pup case.
Yeah.
On the side of BioAndroid.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe they've been touting it as universal donor, but like maybe they actually can't.
It can't be universal donor because they are based off of actual blood samples and they don't have enough
Maybe.
O positive.
Possibly. Or they just can't get to the point where it's compatible with humans enough yet, and so they're hoping that by the time they have enough to produce that the military would want to buy more of them, they will have an answer or something maybe.
Right, so they're pumping propaganda to prime the public
Yeah.
so that the
Yeah,
court
see,
will,
the story brings a well-deserved shot in the arm to Noble's stock prices and markets share. Noble's warm androids have proven themselves to be worth their price tag and then some, and people in the capital paying attention. Yeah, this seems like
a puff piece designed to drive stock prices up.
yeah, and to convince the army.
This story's got people talking. Yep. Mm-hmm. If we ignored our constituents' feelings on the matter, we'd be neglecting our duty as politicians. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
well, additional details about this incident have remained closely guarded. And then
Bunch of up user details and down below and enable crumbs so that we get the user experience.
yeah.
That's fucking creepy.
This is that article that I've seen going around. But why would Noble have it marked as priority?
Why do you think? Well, I guess. I guess she isn't on our level.
Do you think they were prepping it in hopes that it would happen and it got leaked too early?
You think the article got leaked too early?
Yeah, or like they were gonna have they had a press release ready to go, but it wasn't. They didn't need to send it out, and then the press release like got leaked or something. I don't know. Interesting. Starling said they weren't in any rush to pat each other on the back over it, even though they'd won themselves a real prize. The military contract.
I thought we agreed that it was easy PR. Do you think it's a military contract instead?
I think it's. I mean, well, do we know for sure? I mean.
Okay, so we convinced ourselves even before the prompt that it was easy PR. However, the real prize is the military contract.
I think I would agree on that because it sounds like they weren't gonna do it, and the quote from that congressman or whatever specifically said like, you know, if we ignored our constituents, blah blah blah, which makes it sound like they weren't gonna sign a contract, and so
Right.
if they're now leaning towards it, I don't know. I mean, they're both good things, but I feel like the military contract is a big win.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
They now have the excuse they need to pressure the military into a contract for warm androids. Can't dismiss the expensive upgrade as unnecessary now that it's saved a soldier's life. This time next year, there'll be pink oxidizing fluid being spilt all over the globe. Okay, so... and then... spilled alcohol. The arc showed how it looked last night before it evaporated. No foreign substances in the puddle. It's clean. So does that mean wherever this spill came from must be clean as well? Oh, we got evidence piling up already. Okay.
Is this the fucking... The drink wasn't poisoned, the cup was? Shit.
Maybe. That makes... because maybe that's why there's two of them here or something. So we can look at...
Do you want to inspect the other cup first, then?
Yeah, that's fine. 2 cups. One empty, knocked over, and one mostly empty. These look cheap. Did his guest bring them?
I've seen them before, in the basement liquor cabinet.
He kept these lying around? I knew he regifted those crystal glasses I got him.
Ark says there's nothing foreign in the upright one, so it can't have been poisoned. Results are inconclusive on the other cup, however.
Looks bone dry. Must have been nothing but fumes left by the time this is considered a crime scene. Just not enough there for them to test.
Inconclusive could mean...
Inconclusive means inconclusive. That's all. Cheer up and read me the results of the fingerprinting.
Father Spencer on both cups, as expected. But there are someone else's on the upright cup, so someone else must have been with him last night.
Slow down. All that proves is that someone else touched the cup. Doesn't tell us when they did it. And since we don't know who the prince belonged to...
Adonai, why don't we know who the prince belonged to?
Are the prince flagged as unidentified, or...
No, there's space for a name, but the field is black.
Shit, am I already that late to the action? Detective Reyes. Yeah. There's a second set of prints on the cups. Is there a form you'd like me to sign? Doesn't matter how nicely you ask. Sometimes people just can't answer. You should know that damn well, Madam Counselor. I was afraid you'd say that.
I don't understand, Adonai. What does this mean?
It means that whomever those prints belong to has very proactive representation. Those prints belong to a witness, as you've guessed. You're more than welcome to their testimony. But their identity is... The department is being very considerate of the witness's privacy out of respect for their time and appreciation for their cooperation. Fine, forget the name.
That easily?
Subpoenas are always an option, but I'm short on time. What do the witness have to say for themselves, Detective? To paraphrase, they came to see Dr. Asher last night. The two of them talked and they had a drink together. Then the doctor got sick, so they activated the emergency system from the panel in the kitchen. The EMTs came and took them both to the hospital. Asher's condition got worse. All of the witness's vitals were normal. The witness had their vitals taken? Then there should be a record of their admission at Gatesfield. And that's it. I'm guessing you didn't just take all of that on faith. Penumbras set up in most of the rooms on this floor. Everything the witness told us was corroborated by the building's own surveillance system. So yes, we can guarantee that the witness never put anything into Asher's drink.
Incorrect.
I'm guessing that I can't have the keys to the penumbra, can I? Not until the witness's lawyers are done reviewing it. Lawyers, plural? I don't have time to trade jabs with the law offices of Johnson, Johnson, Johnson & Johnson. Say, how about I give you their business card? The law offices of Cochler, Gustav, Prince & Prince. I was close. No way I'll be getting any client information out of them directly. If all you bloodsuckers want to get together and tear each other apart, text me before you start. I'd like to watch. Yeah, I bet you like to watch.
I was gonna make a joke. I thought it was too crass. Okay.
What? What does that even mean? I don't know. Needed a moment to think. So that was it? One chat, one peek at the cams, and you've already eliminated them as a suspect? Look, they were searched. They didn't have any poison, any drugs, not even a stick of gum. Even if they somehow did have poison on them, the camera footage confirms they had no opportunity to use it.
Incorrect. I know exactly how they used it. If it was them.
Oh?
If it was the witness and not some other third party, then the poison was in the bottle and they took an antidote before they walked in.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking it was probably in the bottle, but like, yeah, I wasn't sure about the specifics beyond that.
Or, well, if Sarah hadn't pointed out that the cups, which seem to be red stolen cups, by the way,
Yeah.
were seen in Asher's basement, then I'd say that the cups were the obvious vector, right?
Right.
But it depends on if we have to examine the bottle next, and if it's noted as one of Asher's specifically, then we'll have to rethink the vector. But if it's noted that it came from outside, then anyway, it's a lot of Princess Bride shit, honestly.
Fair.
Princess Bride, is that where I got that from?
Back and forth
No, right.
poisoning of all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you just poison all 3 glasses and just
And then
slip
you
yourself
build up an
in there.
immunity.
Yeah.
They drank from the same bottle as the dead man. As far as the department is concerned, they were nearly the second victim. But they aren't dead, or even ill from the sound of things. So you think he poisoned his own cup beforehand, then poured for the both of them from a safe bottle? That's what the evidence is telling us. There's nothing in the bottle or the witness's cup. But after drinking from his cup, a cup he prepared himself, he fell ill and the witness didn't. And Asher died with a foreign substance in his body.
An unidentified foreign substance.
Suicide by poison. I get that you were close and simple explanations aren't all that satisfying, but that's life. One last thing. You just said he prepared his cup himself. Did you see that on camera? He left the parlor to get the drinks and came back with his already poured. The witness says he got them from the basement. The witness says that, not the cameras? There's no cams in the lab or the basement.
Seems like a security hazard. Why would Noble not set up things more carefully?
It's intentional. If cams of his lab ever got hacked, outsiders could steal his IP and kick Noble's monopoly to the curb. Right. David did complain about Noble's weird protocols for combating corporate espionage.
At least we could take comfort in knowing that Father wasn't alone when he died.
Yeah, that's worth investigating. Okay.
Okay, so the bottle.
Rose River Whiskey, 12 years old.
You recognize it?
Sure, he was more than partial to the brand. It's a good brand, only a bit overpriced, which is the bargain of a lifetime in David's world.
It appears that the police have already tested its contents. No foreign matter present, was their conclusion. Is it possible that the police missed their poison?
No, even if they can't identify the poison, they can detect its presence by comparing samples of the whiskey to a bottle of the off the store shelf.
So we can eliminate the possibility that the bottle of whiskey was poisoned.
We'll have to find our smoking gun elsewhere. Okay.
Okay. So that's... So where would the vector be?
I don't
The
know.
cup, obviously, but... If the cams show... Without the footage itself, we can't uh, acknowledge anything. We can't. It's fine. You wanted to look at the chair next, or do you want to look at the window?
Yeah, we can do chair. One chair knocked over, probably where David was sitting, and one chair pulled out. A party of two. He never cared much for socializing, but he enjoyed hosting. Contradictory guy. Okay. And then whatever these guys are. Police androids monitoring the scene. Could almost mistake them for the real thing, the way they stand there trying to look important. Like an indoor dog taking its first trip to the park.
Pardon?
Why are you looking at it like you've never seen an android before?
Because I haven't. In person.
David didn't even let you have a mirror? Brutal.
Mm.
Just scan its skin if you're that curious. Unless that's considered too forward or whatever. Okay.
Me.
Okay, and then that's here.
Doing this 2 hours a week is kind of dragging out the. I don't know if she's going to get better, but if she is going to get this 2 hours, dragging out the. In the oh god, to pull something from D3, Robophobia plotline.
Oh, yeah. I hope she does, but I don't know. I'm curious if, like, if she's robophobic just because, like, if for lack
Just
of a
because
better...
David was in charge of all the robots.
Yeah, so I'm like, it could be because David is in charge of the robots. It could be because she's like some kind of like hipster, and she's like, I like when things were manual and stuff like that. Or if she's like all iRobot again, and like she has a traumatic past with the robots, and so she doesn't trust them for some reason.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna make a prediction. I think that it's not gonna go away, but it's gonna get softened by being played for laughs for this chapter.
Yeah, you think so?
It'll turn from being like an actual problem to being like, oh, we're teasing you about you being the robot. Except it's just yeah. I don't know. Maybe I do not think she's going to get better.
I hope
But
she
I
does,
think that
but
the
I
game
also
is
would
going to
not
treat it as if it is a lesser issue.
Yeah, I would not be shocked.
Or maybe it won't be. Maybe it'll do the thing where it's like she doesn't get better and it isn't treated better, and we just have to deal with our protagonist not being a great person. This is advertised as the toxic lesbian game.
That is fair. I always admired this view. The buildings gleam with reflections of holograms and sunlight, and their shadows obscure all the rundown, rotting parts of town. Maybe the view's secondary. Maybe all anyone really wants is to put as much distance between them and the street level as possible.
Is it possible that a witness could have seen something through these windows?
Not through these windows, no. David installed wide spectrum auto tint in all his homes, all his cars.
I didn't know that.
Well, you wouldn't notice unless you're reviewing the penthouse for more than...
Why did he care so much about his windows?
Okay, and then
Why
I
was
think
there a
this-
pause there?
I don't know.
I think we have to inspect all the obvious things first before we get the chance to re-examine the case for
Okay.
one more piece of evidence.
Yeah, I think this is the last thing. A chessboard and a datapad with a series of characters on it. E4, C5, NF3, E6, D4, CXD4, and XD4. This is...
A really shittily played game of chess.
Is that really shitty?
It's not good.
Okay, I don't know anything about, like, chess, both in terms of, like, playing it, and then also, like the annotations that you use for things like that. So
Like, I'm not good, but like that. E4 C6, knight of 3. Which way to look at? No, E4 C5. Why? Holy shit. Okay, hold on. E4 C5 out of 3 East. E5 E6. D4 C takes knight takes. Okay, but it's not it's not shittily played. It's just kind of it's not something I've seen, I guess.
fair, but you're pretty sure that it's
It's annotation.
okay,
It's them. It's not like
not a secret
could he have
message.
hidden a message? Could he have hidden something inside of it? Yeah, but that's just chess notation.
Fair. Algebraic notation. Was he studying an old game or playing against himself?
What is checkmate in 40 moves?
Wow, a robot that's good at chess. We ought to put you in a museum. But I'll take your word for it.
Apparently, it was really shittily played game of chess. I know that. Imagine being able to force mate even in 40. Like, holy hell. Just walking into that position must be like I kind of want to plug that into a machine and see what
See what
happens.
it does.
Honestly,
What do you mean? Do you not play Adonai?
No, especially not against David.
That is to be expected. Anyone who challenged Father to a battle of wits would naturally grow tired of losing.
Every game starts the same. Each player has the same pieces, the same moves, the same options. It's a true test of wit, strategy, and forethought.
Memorization.
To me, it always seemed
Boring?
too fair. The smarter player wins every time.
Incorrect. The better chess player wins every time. They are two different things.
She strikes
And
me as
that
the
is-
kind of person that does not really give a crap about the difference.
yeah.
Because she likes a little bit of like luck and like pushing pushing the bounds of like that sort of thing based off of the fact that she's a gambler. So something like chess, I think, is a little too like I don't know.
Limiting.
Yeah, a little too limiting.
And that is something you take issue with?
Of course. How's a guy like me supposed to win a game like that? Seems like that's everything critical on this side of the room. Which leaves the kitchen. You said there's camera footage of the dining room showing David and his guest. What about in here? Only camera in the kitchen is the one mounted on the call terminal. The console took a snap image when the witness ran into contact emergency services. May I see it? Not unless you scrape the witness's face off the pic first. Don't tempt me. Okay, so we have this and the doors. And these little glass things over here. And this counter over here. And I think that's it.
Mhm.
Okay. You want to do left to right again? Or do you want to like leave the
Right to left.
Right to left?
I think we should. Wait, picture?
I assume, like, I don't know if it'll actually let us look at it, but like, she said that. I assume this is what she meant by like it got a picture.
Oh, yeah, that's the camera. Yeah. That's the call terminal, I think.
Yeah.
Or would that be the one on the left?
Well,
The blue thing? You can't click it, obviously.
So I can't even tell. It almost looks more like a window, kind of, because
It looks like a regular temperature regulation.
Yeah, maybe. It would help if it didn't start like blurring itself every 2 seconds. But no, I'm fine with like right to left.
Okay.
3 unwashed dishes and a single glass. Reyes, these dishes haven't been scanned for prints yet.
And?
And I just assumed you might want to do your job. Yeah, there are prints. Most match the victim. But there's also... Huh. Hey! Don't sneak up on me like that. All I did was walk over to you.
You knocked over the salt, Adonai.
I was focused on the task at hand. Didn't realize tunnel vision was a selling point on your mod.
Adonai, the salt.
As I was saying,
Oh.
the witness's prints are on that glass. That glass in the sink? They were drinking from cups in the parlor. Did you see a glass on camera? No. So when did they touch this glass?
You need to toss it over your shoulder.
Witness must have thought about giving the guy some water, but I would have just choked on it if they had tried. What, you think this glass was the murder weapon?
Yes. It's bad luck, Adonai.
Whacked him on the back of his head so fast it went between video frames. That's genius! You should go through the footage frame by frame to prove your theory. Ugh. Mature.
It's bad luck.
What have you been going on about? The salt? Shouldn't a machine be above petty superstition?
Oh. It's not superstition, it's ancient wisdom.
Give me one logical reason to care then.
If too much salt spills onto your food, it'll make you gag.
Maybe it's on me for setting the bar too low there. Okay, but the salt shaker was evidence? The cap was loose.
Oh.
Is the salt in here the poison?
There's the vector. We found it.
Interesting. Okay. Okay, so that, and then counter over here. Messy workspaces, but a pristine kitchen. David is a good cook, but only for others. Unless he had a guess, he'd happily eat instant ramen and protein bars for all 3 meals. Or 2. Or 1. No signs of food prep to be found, not so much as a cheese board. So whoever this guest was, they must have shown up unannounced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to do door and then this red thing, or just red thing and then door?
Red thing and then door.
Okay. This is where the emergency call was made. What time did the call go out? 8:04 p.m. Before you ask, the witness left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. Not enough time for them to alter the scene. I wasn't going to ask that. When did the medics arrive? 8:08 p.m., remember? Hell of a response time for a penthouse. Private EMS came by air? Yeah, they landed on the VTOL pad you saw outside. Took them to Gatesfield. The very best, if you can afford it. Looking around here, seems like you can afford a lot. He got
That
his
seems
insurance.
personal.
Yeah, a little bit. He got his insurance through his employer, just like most people. Caduceus' executive plan for it isn't like most people, counselor. He had executive level? Not like most people at all. Okay, well, I'm curious about... So it's very close to the top.
No, it is the top. Caduceus only offers 3 levels of player-provided plans that outrank. Oh! That outrank it.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought Caduceus only offers 3 levels
Yeah,
of
I read that
air.
as that initially at first too, but yeah. I think it's saying that it's like the 4th from the highest.
It goes up to 7, this was 4. Okay.
Okay, we'll do this. David's fridge. Normally I wouldn't go. Oh, this is a fridge. Oh my god. David's fridge. Normally I wouldn't go poking in the pantry at a crime scene, but this was a poisoning. Some white wines chilling in the drawer. Some real cheap liquor stuffed in the icebox. Old habits. Reyes, you said he left the parlor and came back with that whiskey from the basement? That's what the cams show, yeah. There's plenty to drink right here, and unlike the cabinet downstairs, it's actually cold. He must have wanted Rose River in particular. What's that look for? You hungry?
I am an android. I do not get hungry. Are you being sarcastic?
Only mostly. I thought you said you required organic nourishment.
I do ingest organic substances, but that doesn't mean that I experience hunger as you do.
So when you don't ingest organic circumstances for a long...
Substances.
Don't know how I got that from. So when you don't...
Ingest circumstances.
So when you don't ingest organic substances for a long time, you... Oh, what did you say?
I become tired?
Oh, okay. Sorry. It like got really muffled all of a sudden and like cut out real bad. What a great feature.
And when I'm done digesting,
I don't need to know.
You've now had the chance to survey the crime.
Yeah.
So do you think you know what happened?
Okay.
I do.
It's gonna ask us probably to like go through stuff, I feel like. So I want to look through these real quick just to make sure we have information, if that's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, emergency console. Okay, pretty basic. Water glass. No trace of poison. Fingerprints of the person.
The glass in the sink has fingerprints of us that we
Of what, sir?
that nobody thinks. Fingerprints of the witness that nobody thinks is the murder.
Yeah. As you witness, corroborated by photo, video evidence, arrived at 7:30. Spoke in the parlor. Went to retrieve liquor. Continued speaking about drinking. Felt lethargic and disoriented. Lost consciousness. Called EMS. Take Gatesfield. 808. Okay.
So it was 7:30, 7:36, 8:03.
Yeah, 8:03 lost consciousness. 8:04 a.m. EMS called. 8:08 helicopter arrived or whatever.
Seven 8:30. Sure, go on.
Too much of the Miss Casey was drunk or that again. Okay, so that's all the evidence. And then that's the one we already looked at. And then I think this is probably not really super relevant, but
Deeds or deads.
interesting.
All drugs are now legal.
Yeah.
Pay taxes. Is nerve legal?
Yeah. Yeah, that's basic subpoena definition. Okay. I think that's all the stuff, so we'll see. Maybe it won't ask us to go through it, but this seems like the kind of... It's been a second since we've had, like, serious gameplay elements, so I figured this was a good
Just a refresh.
Yeah. Detective, is his body still at the hospital morgue? Yeah, he's at Gatesfield, along with the 100 noble megs who've all called dibs. Then I'll just have to cut in line. Sarah, get me a ride to Gatesfield Memorial. Okay, maybe it won't. What? You can do that, can't you?
Can.
But
But I need your payment information to get.
yeah, okay. Understood. On my way down. Got it?
Sync complete.
Set pickup for 10 minutes should be plenty.
The crowd down there seems to have gotten. Mr. It's the pickup spot, maybe in.
How bad can it be?
Why would you say that out loud?
Yeah, for real.
No, we didn't get to see any of it. That wasn't there when we began. I guess there's no hidden evidence.
Yeah, I guess not.
Very sad. They sad.
Do you think this might be a good spot to call it since it's about to launch us into a separate scene?
Yeah, this seems like a. This next scene seems like a good place to like introduce like a. We have no hospital staff on our.
Yeah.
So the next scene will introduce us to
That makes sense.
person in the advertisement.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna go and do this. Okay, there we go. Hi, Rolling Mound. So I feel
Black
like we did not learn very much. I mean, we have a lot of like little evidence, but like I feel like that's like all we really got out of this round. But
We've learned that Kay is very bad at locking in.
I don't think that's the case.
Very bad at not.
I think we locked it decent. I think we also just like to talk to each other a lot, which makes it harder to like
Lock in.
lock in. But like, I don't think we're necessarily bad at it. I think we did better than we have normally. Like, we didn't go on any like Danganronpa tangents or anything like that.
We even mentioned Danganronpa once.
Yeah, and we reined it in. So see, there you go.
Okay. But I definitely got hung up on the poison factor, and the salt shaker finally shut me up because I got an answer as to what I thought it could be.
If it's not related, if it's not like whatever's in the salt shaker or something like that, I will be incredibly shocked.
Sarah is very cute. Reyes is very cute, unexpectedly.
I do love both of them. They are quite fun. I can't wait to meet Patricia.
I think we were expecting Kaguya to be like no, Kaguya is going to be in the future, I think. But Patricia, I think, is the witness. And
Yeah, probably. I think it would be interesting if they were the same person, but the more involved they are in this whole situation, the less I am inclined to think that they're the same person. But maybe, I don't know.
What did she say? Like, I know she said Parker was one of the options, but she gave like two specific names to Bran.
Powell and Parker.
Powell and Parker. Why those two? Just as a starting
Yeah,
point.
I don't know, like, cause at first, so I don't know if in the time between when she like pulled Fran up, if she like managed to remember something a little bit more, or if she just went like law of like statistically those are common names, and so if this doesn't work out then they can keep looking, but there's statistically a very good chance that
It'll be a Powell or a Parker.
right, maybe, I don't know.
I
don't know. Interesting stuff though. I'm still really liking this. It definitely not probably the thing that probably not gonna be able to get through it, before Deltarune comes out, but hopefully we can get to like a decent stopping point where we won't forget everything that happened. So when Deltarune's over, we won't be completely lost when we come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just going over this walkthrough again, not reading anything, but just I'm in the table of contents, and
Yeah.
it's we are currently in on the crime scene,
Yeah.
and we are currently on the crime scene. There's a lot. Like, do you want me to count
I was
items
about
on?
to say, do you have like a number of like bullet points and we're at like 2
Sure.
of 18 or
Um,
something like that?
overview. Introduction straight crossing gun store apartment. Ride to Platea lobby. David Asher's basement. Crime scene is 8.
Okay.
And then we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 5. So we're at 8 of 25.
Dang. A quarter of the
So,
way there. Or a third of the way there.
yeah. So, um, we could do this for another couple weeks. We could stop and do, I don't know, chill for a couple weeks. I you said you made an order because you wanted a physical copy.
Yes. It's supposed to be here. I went for like the free shipping because I ain't about that life.
Mhm.
So, let me see. I gotta pull it up. It could be arriving anywhere from May 20th to May 28th.
Okay, so maybe not. Well, no, well, if it gets here early, it could be here by.
Yeah, it depends. Wouldn't be. I would not be shocked
Not
if it
expecting
doesn't.
it, but
Yeah, if it gets here on the 20th, I would be shocked. I'd be more inclined for it to be closer to the 28th, but you never know.
mhm. So like obviously up to you. Because we're gonna forget literally everything. Uh, when we go into the, we're gonna be far away from any lawyers. I think when we hit Deltarune again. So if we want to call it quits early, because it took us three. It took us
Yeah.
three. It took us 3 sessions to get. So you know what? Actually, missing a week didn't affect anything. We wouldn't have gotten there anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. It was a nice goal at least, but
But hey, we have something to look forward to when we get off Deltarune. Because I think our plan was to hope that the final chapter of Your Turn to Die was out by the time we were finished.
that is true.
Okay.
I
So obviously,
I
uh,
already forgot we were.
yeah, yeah. So obviously we don't know what the future. Well. Next week we will possibly have a stream.
Maybe we shall see.
Maybe. Uh, if not, it is because. No, it's because. If
Because.
yeah. Um. We want to talk about the cast list stuff that's happening, or do we want to keep that in the background?
Of of
Ghost Trick.
oh yeah. That's still kind of percolating. I don't know. I'm optimistic about it being soon, but
Not this weekend, but maybe next weekend.
maybe. I don't know.
Possibly.
Emma seemed kind of confident that maybe it would be this weekend still, but I would be shocked if it was this weekend, considering we have like essentially 3 days worth, and
Mhm.
Emma has not finished the game, but I know they have at least they're pretty confident on who they want for the main person. So
Ooh.
if they're willing, if the person is willing to do it.
Mhm.
So, because Emma private messaged me and spoilers, they want you to do
Wait, what? Huh? Huh?
it. Not to throw that on you.
Huh?
That's what they're thinking right now. But if you don't want to do it, that's also totally fine.
I'm willing. Ah! Ah! Ah!
I think you'd be great.
I also think that sure. Yep, I could fake confidence on that.
Yeah.
So you know what? Actually, if we have a cast list by this, depending on who is on the cast list for the first episode, you know, it would be really fucking perfect
What?
if we started it next week.
Why next week?
Because next Sunday is my birthday.
Oh my God! Is it? Oh Jesus, you're right. That is okay. In my head, I was doing the math, so in my head it was like the 30th or something
Hey,
like that.
So
yeah,
like,
you're right.
I don't know if we can get that arranged,
Yeah.
but like, if that's where Emma is headed,
Yeah.
then like, I wouldn't mind personally.
Yeah. Would that be a good? Would that
I
be a
think
good
it
birthday
could
present for you? Is to
That'd be a nice
start,
present. That'd
start
be a nice
Ghost
present.
Trick?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll have to see what I can. I'll have to see what I can. If I can nudge them in the right direction.
But that is again our fan dubs take a lot of organizing to get done, obviously.
Yes.
So this is just a fun little coinkydink that we noticed randomly. So no guarantees, none. Expect nothing, and be happily surprised if it happens. But if you expect nothing, and nothing, you will have expected it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. But hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah. So next week possibly nothing will happen. Possibly something will happen. We don't know.
Yeah,
Hooray.
it's all up in the air, mystery. You'll just have to tune in to see.
The one thing you can expect for sure, Thursday, June 5th, apparently. I thought that was the 4th, but apparently it's the 5th. Deltarune, Chapter 3. Hooray!
Bow, bow, bow. So pumped.
Yeah.
Be there
Super
or
excited.
be square. Which actually in Deltarune World's probably a cool thing, but ignore that.
if you are there, you can be square.
But the cool square.
Awesome.
There's the cool square and the
Cool.
uncool square.
And obviously you want to be the cool square.
Yeah.
So make sure to be there to be the cool square,
Yeah.
as opposed to not being a square at all.
Yeah, don't be an oval. What kind of
I need to go-
bitch is an oval?
I need to go actually order Deltarune.
This is fair. Imagine like something happens and like it crashes the website and only like pre-orders go through and like
God.
we're like, God damn it. That would be, I would cry.
Okay.
Cool. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you, Kay, for streaming with me. Good to be back.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.